I think it's only fair for the viewers to find out how both of you met.
But I used to make 40 skins a month for MCC. I used to make every single team, every single month for about 7 MCCs in a row.
Basically, I can say that like my old character kind of died in a way, per se, and then got reborn as a withered being. So I am basically, my character, my Sona, is basically undead.
But yeah, so the whole reason I continued making skins at all was because Dave decided to be nice
It's
that
so
one time
crazy.
on stream.
That one got seen by Tubbo, he replied to the tweet, and that boosted the tweet so much that it, to this day, it has 32k likes.
They just expect skin artists to come out with things that it's just like a little bit annoying when you're not appreciated, but it is still expected of you. Like Hermitcraft have always been really good, and I think they kind of set the example of how to treat artists.
You should next time show me on Block Wars Origins to have a pint.
Let's have Team Sober and get really drunk.
Hey Siri, heads or tails? Alright lads, welcome back to InsideMC, the part of the podcast where I sit down with an amazing guest, or well this week, guests, every single week to talk about them. And today I am joined with two very silly, goofy guests, also very cool at tournaments. One of them actually just broke a curse over the weekend while the other one got destroyed in the same tournament. They're also both skin makers, making over 30 plus together, I think. I don't know. I am joined with Maskyzee and Space.
Hello.
Hello.
How are we?
Good evening. I cannot believe you just insulted me in your intro. Straight, just got here. Already catching strays.
You didn't just get it. We've been on the call for like half an hour.
Hey, the start of the podcast, not the start of the call.
True, yeah.
Yep.
How are you both doing today?
I'm having a day.
Yeah?
I'm doing alright. Alright.
Yeah, I've made 12 skins today.
What?
Huh?
If you'd like a reference to how I'm doing.
Why?
You're cooking. Hold up.
Commissions, I've got Christmas skins. Everyone needs a Christmas skin, and I've just, Christmas skins all over the place. Plus MCC is coming up this weekend, which is technically not this weekend by the time this comes out, but this weekend. Which I've definitely started.
It would have been last weekend when this podcast is coming
last
out,
weekend.
Yeah.
So I've got skins to make for last weekend.
Nice, because that works.
Time traveling.
Yeah, I'm a bit late, but we'll figure it out.
You'll be alright.
Yeah, no, I'll manage. Don't worry, I'll travel in time.
What about yourself, Masky? Do anything interesting today?
No, I haven't really done too much today. I've just been chilling and having a good time.
Yeah.
Been playing Minecraft, to be fair. I've been gaming already, so.
Still reeling from your win on Saturday. We have to bring that up a few more times.
The same tournament that you lost in, right, Space?
Okay, are we gonna do this every time? Every time?
No, that's the
okay.
only one. Don't worry. Sorry, I'm sorry. It's fine, no, because you guys did win a tournament together, and we'll talk about it later on. So you have won a tournament together.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm not that salty. We won actually more than one, two.
Oh,
true,
two?
actually.
One of them was, to be fair, a charity game night, which, probably isn't.
Oh, yeah, you did win that.
Yeah, with our definitely balanced and well-fed
Absolutely
team.
balanced team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fair enough.
So two, technically.
Yeah.
I should have said this in the intro, and I completely forgot. This is the first ever duo podcast. I've done midweek MCs with AJX where we've had a guest on, and I used to have a host for InsideMC where it was us two and a guest. It's the first ever time that the roles have been reversed. I'm on my own, and there's two of you, so you're making history today. How does it feel?
I'm happy. Hey, I'm trendsetter. Love being a trendsetter. Really enjoying my time being very cool.
There'll be so many duo podcasts to come after this. Everyone's going to be reaching out.
Everyone's going to want to do a duo podcast after this, and you're just going to be like, well, just have to thank these
just
two.
remember, we're always going to be
You're
the first.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. With that
Very
being said,
inspirational.
then, lads, or lasses. Okay, right. Oh
lads,
my god,
lads works to be honest.
True. Yeah, I've had such a day today. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna be fine. Just today has been a day. You know when days are just days.
Yeah.
No, I completely understand your days.
To kickstart the podcast, right? I think it's only fair for the viewers to find out how both of you met.
Oh my god. Okay, so Maskyzee has definitely been around longer than I have, and that's saying something because I've, it's been like 2.5 years now for me.
Yeah.
So
Really?
yeah, well, I mean, I was looking today and I found a Christmas skin from 2 years ago, and I was like, Jesus.
Oh damn.
Oh no, I know. I was like, I feel old now. But But no, we met through a group chat. I think it was a group chat.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was a little Maskyzee fan. I'm gonna be honest.
Ooh.
I remember getting really excited when Masky followed me for the first time because I was like, oh my god, I've been spotted. Do you know what I mean? So then it was like a few weeks after that, I think, where I joined the group chat, and then I met like a bunch of other skin artists. But then for some reason Maskyzee kind of stuck, or at least I stuck to Maskyzee.
No, it goes the same way. It goes the same way.
Oh my god.
All right.
But I was always like a little fan, so when I got added to that group chat, I was like, oh my god, guys, I've made it. But like, I don't know, Masky, you've been around for a long time. Well, sorry, okay, I'm not saying you're old. Sorry.
Thanks.
But you've definitely been around longer than me.
I've made skins for about 2.5, nearly 3 years, I think. So I've been around for a bit longer. But but what Space already said, we met through the group chat pretty much. I already knew of Space, but it was for me more like, oh yeah, I heard of your name before. And then like we kind of like just stuck after a while. We've chatted more. We started doing collabs as well. So we just kind of like stuck together and just we cannot be separated anymore. I'm sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately for event
we're
organizers.
one pack.
Yeah. But I remember
Oh yeah, go on.
Oh.
No, hit the floor.
Oh, I remember we didn't start talking till after TwitchCon Amsterdam. So me and Masky had actually like technically run into each other in real life before.
Oh really?
Yeah, so I remember
shot.
specifically. So there was Sarah and Masky, and I think you were talking to James Marriott, I think you were talking to. And I was waiting, and I didn't realize until afterwards that was those two, because Sarah came to see me afterwards. But I didn't realize that I technically already met Masky, and then we didn't speak for like another 2 months, and like after that, and then it was like, oh my god, like we literally like technically met.
Like I didn't know that you were at TwitchCon, and then you told me, and I'm like, wait, where were you? And you were like, I'm at the artist booth, and I'm like, I walked past it 1,000 times.
yeah, because my friend was on an artist booth, so those guys will have passed me like at least 57 times.
Yep.
But yeah, that's sad. And then you couldn't make it to this TwitchCon, so
But we met.
But
next time.
I mean, I still remember you kind of like bumping into me. I don't know why that's just become a bit of a memory in my head, but like you came over, you like barged into me. Like not in a bad way, like a jokey way. It's just stuck in my head for some bizarre reason.
To be fair, I think I'm just the most clumsy kind of throw my body around kind of person. So you're more likely to get bumped into than anything. So no, you were doing the little basketball thing.
Yeah.
So
I felt kind of bad because I like kind of brushed off the interaction when I should have been like screaming, crying over me.
Should have been like, oh my god, who is this incredibly famous person that has interrupted my basketball?
but I love basketball. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, no, I understand. You're married to the grind.
True.
The grind is basketball.
Yeah. Well, I mean, nowadays it's the podcast. To be fair, I mean, the amount I'm uploading, this is.
Well, yeah, exactly. I respect it every week. Don't know how you do it.
I don't know either. Sometimes like the amount
you're
I
just
walk
better.
all
You're just better.
No, I wouldn't say that. I don't have to get egotistical about it. I'm very proud of myself. There we go. That's how I'd word it. I assume this group chat was a skin making group chat, right? If you said it and I just brushed over, I'm sorry, but was it a skin making one or just a general group chat?
Yeah, it was like a skin artist one.
Okay, and then now there's a Discord, isn't there?
There is. Yes, we
made.
Me, Masky, and then someone called Fish, KK Fish, who makes a lot for like HPG. Because I know I was talking about it for a while, because for like a long time, because the group chat kind of died out like a little bit, because people just stopped talking about people doing other things. So we were like, hey, there's like so many more skin artists kind of around now than when I was at it, because I think I was one of the last additions to that group chat as well, which for being like a year and a half ago, long time. So I was like, hey Masky, do you want to help me set up a Discord server? And to be fair, it's been going pretty nicely at the minute. Everyone's getting along, but it's nice to just meet people, because there's like half the people in there I've never heard of, so it's really cool to be able to meet so many other people, like even outside of kind of our little sphere, because me and Masky are definitely event skin artists and event players, and sometimes SMPs, but we don't really get outside of that. So obviously seeing all of these other people who make skins for so many other different things that I'd never even seen before, or people that I followed on Skindex like 4 years ago, that I now get to talk to, and it'd be like, holy moly, I've that kind of thing, like it's just really cool, and I'm really glad we decided to make it. I think it was like a Tuesday afternoon or something.
Yeah, you just kind of DM'd me being like, hey, I have this idea about like making a skin art kind of Discord server, and I was like, yeah, go for it, and then just kind of evolved into what we have now. And it's also like a great chance for everyone to meet new people and new skin artists. And also we have a collab channel where we basically ask, for example, for events or something, if anyone wants to collab. So people expand their like group as well to like make collabs, which I really, really like.
The horizons, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then with the group chat, say you're a skin artist or you're an up-and-coming skin artist possibly, how exactly do you get into this? Sorry, not group chat. How do you get into this Discord?
You just ask one of us. Like, you can just DM one of us. I think both of our DMs are open on Twitter, at least. That's where I've had most of mine. So you can genuinely just message one of us. I mean, as long as you're like, you
actually
at least make an effort
artist.
to make a skin. Yeah, like I don't mind if, you've just started or anything, but like, as long as like you're not just like turning up being like, hey, that kind of thing. So like, if you're interested in like, because I know for a lot of people in there, it's not just skin art as well. It's skin art like pixel art. I've seen a few of. There's some 3D modelers in there as well who also do skins.
Okay.
So there's like it's like a really cool overlap as well to see those kind of people. But yeah, if you would just DM one of us. We both got pretty consistent branding. So if you need to find any of us, like, you probably find us on Twitter if if you're interested.
I've mixed a few skins on Nova Skin before, so does that qualify me to
Nova
join?
Skin.
Oh god, don't remind me of Nova Skin.
God, I've used it once and never again.
Yeah.
It's the easiest site to go on when I think one day I mixed my skin with like an e-boy skin and it just caused the absolute abomination and I loved it. I wore it for months. So back in Bedrock days.
Oh wow. I know Purple used Photoshop one time to make me a skin, so I think that's arguably worse. But yeah, so god. Ooh.
It's crazy to hear like that you guys have been in it for like 2-3 years, because I only joined this community back in March. Like it's
to be fair,
really short.
Sorry, I'm interrupting again.
No,
I just like talking.
It's fine. Go ahead. It's your podcast.
To be fair, me and Masky only like usually really started getting involved in like events, because both of us were MCC skin artists for a long time. And I think that was both of our first events. But I know for us recently, obviously we both got added to Block Wars after each other, and I think we only really got like fully involved like January, February this year. So obviously we would have been active in like MCC kind of areas, but nothing really outside of that. So we're technically, well, I mean, for me at least, I still feel very new to this kind of, to like the event community at least, and skin art, because it was just kind of, it was a very I would say like closed off group. Like it would be the same people every time that you'd be talking to. So yeah, I still feel pretty new to it. So you're not the only one.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's fair. How long has Block Wars been around for now? I'm trying to think. Like, not like around as in not because it's gonna sound rude. I don't mean like this in a rude way. How long has it been around for in like an official sense? Does that make sense?
So, do you mean after the split?
Yeah, that works.
Yes. After the split. So you're welcome.
Thank you.
The first content creator Block Wars, I believe, was November.
Oh, okay, so that wasn't okay. So yeah, around about
So
that
it's
time
been
is
about
when
a
you started
year.
maybe getting into it a
Yeah.
little bit more. Once Block Wars did the split, is that when you started broadening your horizons for like tournaments? Because you make skins for Pandora's Box, Block Wars, MCC, like you've made Mania. Yeah, like you guys make a lot of skins.
Yeah.
I can give you numbers if you'd like, but maybe we shouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't hear every
We've
single
got some
individual one, but
numbers.
if you have it up in front of you, I'm happy to hear both of your individual skins made.
Between 4 events. Wait, hold up. I've got the math somewhere. Wait, let
If
me
you have
find my
yours
maths.
as well, Masky, I'm interested to hear that.
I had it written down. So
Okay, so in total across 4 events, which is Block Wars Origins, MCC, and Pandora's Box, I currently have 241 skins being used this year.
Oh my. Oh wow.
That is 93 of those being just Block Wars.
That's nearly a year's worth of skins.
That's in 11 months. It's been 241. That's nearly a skin every day.
And then what about like collab wise? While Masky looks for theirs, like what like you two together? How many skins have you made together?
I don't.
Because I have over 30 plus wrote down here, so I don't need to hear the exact amount.
30.
Over.
We've done 30 plus collab.
Isn't that what you said in your MCC Rising application? I could have sworn you said like you've done like 36
no,
or something.
No.
Oh.
So that was how many skins we've had in MCC.
What, like, but you both
Yeah.
made together or just individually?
No, like
No
we made
separate.
individually. A couple of them were collabs, but not all of them.
Let's just say it's probably over 30 plus. Let's be real.
It's probably
It's probably a good number, yeah.
All the skins we both made for last event were collabs with each other, so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh yeah, because you made skins for Masky's team in Origins and then vice versa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You basically did some sort of art drill.
I made them slimy.
Slimy.
And I made you guys little scarecrows.
Little scarecrows. Yeah, I feel like with Origins, I will always make skins. Like always. Can't get rid of me.
Well, I
Sorry.
guess Origins is more like your friend group as well, right? So it's kind of
Yeah, well, I mean, I've technically made more for the content creator event so far this year.
Yeah, but
than I
that
have for Origins.
doesn't matter. Like I'm just saying more so like Origins is more you making skins for your friends.
yeah,
in a
it's
sense.
more like
as much as
hey,
they're still
you're-
content creators, but like
But yeah, no, you're fine. yeah, Origins is definitely like 80% friend group. So I'm like, of course, like Masky's team, this time around, Team Curse was like 3 of my best friends and then 2 people who have been nothing but lovely to me. So I was like, okay, well, no one else is getting a chance to make them. These are all mine. So that kind of thing where I'm like, I grab them and I'm like, you're mine, you know?
You grabbed them and ran away with them.
I did. Someone did ask about making you skins and I was like, no.
Oh, I saw that, yeah.
You can't. I was like, you can,
I saw your
but I'm
reply.
sorry, I'm making them. Not in like a, you can't make them, but as in like a, please, I love this team so much, let me have this kind of thing. So
Just this once, if I'm ever gonna make skins for somebody, please
And then
do
they-
that.
and then they won, so
Technically,
You know.
Spacebr0wnies team skin buff. So technically, you did win Block Wars
Exactly.
Origins.
technically I won. They didn't put me on the,
Exactly.
they wouldn't let me on the podium though, which is kind of sad.
That's a
I
bit
was so
rude,
upset
actually,
about that. I
considering you
was
make
hoping
team
we'd get
skins.
there.
They let me in the VC, but not on the podium.
You know, we take wins where we can get them, right?
We do.
VC's a win.
Right, I put those pixels on those skins. My win.
You were there in spirit.
Yes.
Do you have the numbers, Masky, or no?
I don't have the exact numbers, but I think this year with like 5 or 6 events, it's around 90 plus. that I've
Jeez.
done
Still
this year.
insane. I
That's
think
still a
comparing
lot,
against
yeah.
me is stupid because I'm slightly insane.
Yeah,
And
you can
also
make a
it's like
few,
6
don't
events
you?
for you, it's like 3 or 4.
Yeah,
so-
it's like I made that Martin skin for Block Wars in under 10 minutes, and I don't know what I was doing.
I saw a lot
but
of people were shocked about that. Yeah.
I blinked and there was a skin, and I was like, okay.
I literally told you like, hey, so Martin might sub, and you're like, I am going. I
I
am
was like,
making
hold
this
my
now."
keyboard. I'm going.
I guess like as a question here, which wasn't actually going to be one, but I love like hearing something and building a question on top of it. Have you? I mean, like I don't know if I don't really know how skin making works, so this is just a genuine question here. But isn't it just a case of like, sorry, have you ever thought of maybe making an extra like costume for each team for if someone subs in, for example, like for instance, like with like Martin, was that pre-made or is that?
Martin was from scratch.
But have you ever made like pre-team skins, like assuming like, imagine there's
yes.
a sub for every team. Do you normally make a costume just to sub on somebody?
So I think this is a very specific thing for me, but I used to make 40 skins a month for MCC. I used to make every single team every single month for about 7 MCCs in a row.
Jeez.
And the only way I would be able to do that in like the week and a half is I would make bases beforehand. So I'd come up with color palettes and I would make maybe 3 or 4 outfits for each team, and then if it fit I would use them. If it didn't, then I would come up with something else. So I would always have, when I was making those like 10 out of 10 teams, I would have always made 90% of the outfits before the teams even came out.
Why'd you stop?
So
Why'd you stop?
why did I stop making 40 players a month, or why
Yeah.
did I stop making bases? Why? Because
Bases, not
it
bases,
got to
I guess, then bases.
Okay, bases. So it was more that I then, because so for me it was like it was starting to become really repetitive, like what I was making. So what I was making, to me at least, seemed like it was just the same skin. So the reason I stopped was Halloween MCC 18. Yeah, MCC 18. No, not MCC 18. What was last year's Halloween MCC?
MCC Halloween. We'll just go with that.
MCC Halloween. And I was like, oh my god, Halloween skins are hard. First of all, every team wants something different. Content creators aren't particularly helpful sometimes when it comes to, you know, giving skin artists ideas. I feel like, especially with MCC, we're incredibly overlooked. Like, we make all of the skins, but like incredibly overlooked.
Oh, okay.
So I can get into that if you like.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, I will finish my point first.
Of course.
But of course. But I've forgotten my point.
No, no.
Why you stopped making bases?
Oh yeah. Okay, sorry, I ramble. I'm scatterbrained.
That's fine.
But so it got to Halloween MCC, and you know, Halloween costumes are already hard enough, and I know a lot of content creators were commissioning that year, and I got a commission from Purpled that time, and I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna put all of my energy into this really cool commission that I've got. I'd never been commissioned by a CC before, and Purpled was one of my favorites, so I was like, you know, screaming, quite literally. So I only made I think 2 teams for that MCC, and then I decided to like tone it back for the other MCCs, where I was like, okay, cool, I will just stick to the teams that I want to make, rather than forcing myself, because I think burnt out as well, rather than forcing myself to continue to just make constantly. I mean, you could say that I would be doing that now, but not just for MCC, but I just had to like tone it back because I was just doing far too much for my little brain.
Well, these are my words and not yours. I'm speaking from myself here, so I don't want anyone thinking I'm speaking for all of us, just in case. It's like, it's with the podcast, for example, I'm very much like, just because someone has an been invited yet doesn't mean I don't want them on. So don't take this out of context. But I mean, I only invite people on who I'm interested in talking to, right? You can have a million subscribers and I probably won't invite you on for 3 years because it's a lot easier to edit a podcast with someone who you're interested. Like this podcast is going to be so easy to edit because you guys are just talking and it's and you're interesting and this is an interesting podcast, right? But I feel like I'm once again, my words, not speaking for you here. Same with skin making. It's a lot easier to make skins for somebody who you enjoy watching or skins for somebody who you'll know there's a 90% chance they're going to wear your skin. I feel like it's a lot easier than doing the entire event. It's a lot easier to pick and choose certain creators who you know are going to wear the skin or who you enjoy watching because you're doing it like same with the podcast. I'm editing it because I'm editing somebody who I enjoy watching. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but once again, not saying this is from you guys. If you agree or not, that's I don't know, but I'm speaking on behalf of me here but using skins as a reference kind of thing. What about you, Masky? How comes you don't do bases?
I never actually did any sort of bases before. I basically just kind of went and tried out sort of outfits. At the start, I was always like, okay, it was, I'd say, more generic outfits like a shirt, some pants, maybe like some accessories. How I started with like the skins that I've made at the beginning when I made skins for MCC. And then I've kind of thought about, okay, wouldn't it be interesting to try and figure out some sort of outfits that just like either fit a theme or like Christmas, for example, for Christmas MC. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go with that instead of like making a bunch of skins or bases prior, because I just felt like it's in a way more unique than just kind of doing the same thing over and over again. And that's basically how I kind of make the skins that I do. I just look at a team basically and I'm like, okay, this theme could fit perfectly. And that's pretty much how I figure out my outfits and therefore don't make bases prior.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, both are completely reasonable answers. It was more just curiosity because, rather than whipping up a skin in 10 minutes when there's a last minute sub, I just feel like, the idea of maybe just making a team skin, assuming there's going to be a sub on that team kind of thing. I
mean, for the, in Martin's case though, the skins that me and Masky made were so like detailed. I think they are some of the best skins I think we've ever made.
Yeah.
So getting a sub in 10 minutes, not only was I a little bit crushed because I was like, oh my God, like I just spent I think that's the longest I'd spent on skins recently was those team skins, and I love them to absolute bits. So getting a sub, I was like, oh my God. But because I loved those skins so much, I was like, okay, I have to make one. So for that specific team, that there wasn't really a way to be able to make like a base because I'd made them green, so you can't really So I had to we just had a color palette that we went off, which is what we do for all of our labs is color palette and theme. So all I had was a color palette, so I couldn't really make a base for a zombie, especially because we didn't know who'd be the sub. So
purposely
I can understand.
Oh, sorry, yeah, you're on about.
Oh, it works sometimes for MCC because you can just pull the outfit off one person and stick it on the other one.
Yes. Not for special ones, yeah.
Yeah. So, but especially for Halloween stuff where you'd make it specific to the player, it's a bit more difficult.
I keep forgetting it's the Halloween one because I was about to say purposely being closed-minded here. How come you didn't just pull it off and put it on the other one? But you literally just answered that and it makes sense. Yeah. I just keep forgetting it was a special event. In my head, I just keep thinking it's just a team skin. Not just a team skin. I mean just the same clothes. Sorry, not like a custom.
Yeah, if I'd pulled the clothes off the one who got subbed out, I would have been putting Martin in a skirt. So
yeah.
I don't see the problem with that. I mean,
for his first block wars, you may as well make an entrance. But
true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tracking away from skins for a minute. Don't worry, we'll be getting back into them because I have a few more questions. But it's something that normally comes at the start of the podcast, and I wanted to ask is where did the idea for both of your names come from? So I know this isn't a joint effort.
Oh, no.
I'm assuming this isn't a joint effort. But Masky, your name is Maskyzee, and you have this kind of wither persona. Spacebr0wnies, your name is Spacebr0wnies. Purposely with a 0, you had the chance to change it to an O and you didn't. And you kind of got a whole TV persona. So where are both of those ideas from?
Masky, you can go first.
Okay, so
don't know if I want to admit this on the
basically I do the Masky thing was already years from now. I had this Masky name for about maybe 7 to 8 years because I had an old account on Instagram that had something similar to that name, and because I didn't put out my IRL name that much, they all started calling me Masky, and I just kind of adopted that name. And the Z part about my name is basically because honestly my favorite letter is is an M, and my second favorite is Z. So I thought, what could I potentially put behind that Masky? Because obviously Masky was taken on Minecraft. Take that. I thought, okay, just put my second favorite letter in there, Maskyzee. There's the name, and that's basically how I came up with that. Because the Masky part was already a part of me for a while, and the Z part is just because I had to kind of add something to it. And since then, it has become my name, and I love it. It's literally I love my name. It's fun.
It flows. It flows well.
Yeah, exactly. Back then I was like, but does it actually fit? But now I'm like, I'm stuck with it.
I love saying Maskyzee. You know, like in events, like Maskyzee. Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Very exciting.
And the wither persona wasn't a part of me at the start when I started content creation or like skin making. Even I always wanted to have some sort of wither persona, but back then when I wanted it, I wasn't a skin art, so I just kind of went with a human kind of version of myself with a ninja outfit.
Okay.
So I was basically a ninja back then.
I know those skins. I know them.
Yeah, those are now like kind of gone. They don't exist. They're not on my NameMC anymore. And when I was more of a skin artist, and then I decided like, hey, let me just try the idea I have of the withered being, of a withered persona base. Because my favorite mob is the wither, or like the wither skeleton. I just love I love those silly guys. They're great. And I was like, okay, I kind of want to try it. And then I made a concept about my persona and made something new. And there's some story behind how it went from my human version to my withered. Because on my skin, there's this ribbon around my leg, the red ribbon.
Yeah.
That is from my old persona. So basically, they are connected, but one of them is not there anymore. There's like some sort of story behind it that I thought of because I wanted to have some sort of transition from that persona to the other.
Maskyzee lore.
Yeah,
I'm learning things today.
I still want to kind of make that like, I don't know, a video or like story that I write out because I have it in mind. I just never had the time or like the focus like making it real or like anything. So I would try it at some point that I make that reality. But for now, it's just like in my head, the idea the ribbon is a part of my persona, and therefore that's my character. And yeah, that's pretty much from my side. I'd say.
Yeah, I'm learning things.
Space.
Okay, well, name-wise,
Spacebr0wnies.
I'm gonna leave that up to interpretation because there are things I'm not going to say out loud on the internet.
Okay, that's
But
fair. Yeah, that's understandable.
you mentioned the zero instead of the O. So
Yeah.
originally, this is my name on Twitch for like a few years beforehand. Because I was on Bedrock Minecraft and my name was like Frogs Are Nice 951. So I wasn't exactly going to carry that over. So I was like, so on Twitch, it was space__brownies. And I hated the double underscore so much that I was like, I need to get rid of it. So I changed it. The only like available option on Twitch at the time was with the zero. So I was like, oh, I'll keep it. And then when I got like Java Minecraft, I was like, I'll just name myself that because it's free. Because without the zero, it wasn't free like a couple of years ago. And then it was available on Twitter. It was available everywhere. So like it was a username like across anything before I even considered like content creation or making Minecraft skins or anything. I was like, oh, this is just available everywhere. Like I may as well just keep it. And then the option came up recently with the Spacebr0wnies with an O available in Minecraft usernames, and I was like, no, I'm far too attached at this point. Absolutely not. The zero is mine now. So I've just kept it. Like it's just more that I'm attached to it. And then the TV head thing was because I didn't have a face on the internet until this year. So I was like, I need to find a way to make myself faceless. And also I have like really curly hair, and I didn't want to make that a Minecraft skin. So it was more just like I'm just gonna make myself a little box head. And then I didn't want the TV screen to be like those classic lines that you see in a lot of TV head Minecraft skins. So I was like, hey, space, and I was like, let me throw a bunch of space themed colors in there, and that's basically how it came to be. Yay! Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know this or if it's ever like obvious. I don't know if it is, but I guess like letting you guys know how I got kind of my persona as like my like mask is because same reason I covered my eyes. So originally my profile pictures were just my logo, right? Which is a planet. It's a custom made Orbitzz planet. It's a blue planet essentially. Back on Bedrock days, all the creators who had like faces as their profile pictures did better for views. So I wanted to get a face as well. But because I was faceless on the internet as well, I wanted something. So I didn't want to go down the dream route of wearing a mask. So I went down like a route of that not many people have done, and I got a blindfold. I'm covering my eyes, right? Because people, I always posted myself online, but always covered my face. So it's essentially like me covering my eyes. So then I got a blindfold with my logo on it, which is like a blindfold with my planet, which is Orbitzz, like Orbitzz planet, that kind of idea. And then blindfold for not showing my face, because that was also once again faceless up until this year. So
Yeah.
you know, so it's
Don't
kind
know
of
what
the
changed
same.
this year, but I was like, you know what? We ball. Have a face this year.
Fuck it, we ball.
We do, and now like with Discord profile picture is a little version. I think this is one of the first times I've had art done that isn't just my box head, and it's just really cool. That kind of thing.
Yeah,
where it's just
I
like-
think it's really cool. It looks
I'm so-
silly.
And I like your one, Masky, as well. The whole like, it's like you withered away and then I was reborn as like.
It's so cool.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
That's yeah.
I
That's
love
it,
my
actually.
Maskyzee lore.
Basically, I can say that like my old character kind of died in a way per
no.
se,
GG.
and then got reborn as a withered being. So I am basically my character, my Sona is basically undead.
Kind of like a spooky phoenix.
Yeah, you could say.
There we go.
That's a horrible analogy.
Speaking of skins, because we said skins at one point in that whole segment.
Yes!
Charlotte.
At one
Uh,
point, gosh.
Back to skin making. No way.
No way.
Wait.
So,
Yes.
very controversial question.
Oh boy.
Why did you both start making skins?
Who's
You
gonna
want to go first?
What got you into skin making? Why are you so passionate about making
Okay,
skins? There we go.
I love this one. Okay, so I started obviously just making skins for myself and one of my friends, and I would make us matching skins all the time, and they were really bad. Well, they were bad compared to what I make now, because I just started. Thankfully, I'd never used Noise Tool. I never sunk to those levels, but you know they weren't great. And then
I'll
so
pretend
obviously
know what that
I
is for the podcast.
yes, just nod, smile, wave. So so I only started making stuff for events or MCC 18, and that was my first ever set of team skins, set of skins that I'd made for someone that wasn't myself or my friends. That's the first time I'd ever made skins, and they weren't great. And I hadn't figured out a shading style. Like my shading style was just kind of absorbed from other people on skin decks, like that kind of thing, where I was like, I couldn't figure out something for myself. So they look bad to me now. But I probably would have given up after that point, because I was like, oh, these were just rubbish, you know, no one really saw them, blah blah blah. But I remember Dave, because it was for Dave's MCC team, which was Dave, Tapple, Meths, and Gizzy Gazza, that's the one. But Dave mentioned them on stream and talked about how cool they were, and I was like, oh my god, this is the first time I've ever made like event skins, and then here I am watching one of my favorite content creators talk about them and be really nice about them, and I was like, oh my god, these people actually want, you know, they actually care about something that I'm making.
We want more.
So
we want more.
Exactly. So I was like, oh my god, Dave Karatzi, the person that I'd been watching for like months before that, I'd like he was one of the first MCC PVs I watched. So to hear him say something so nice, and I've told him this story myself as well when I met him at TwitchCon, but him talking about it on stream really kind of opened my eyes. I was like, oh my god, I need to keep making these. So then I made some really, you know, not great, really bright green ones for MCC All-Stars as well. And then the first set of 40 MCC skins that I made was that Christmas MCC, which was MCC 19 question mark? MCC 19?
I don't know. I'm going to be able to know. All I know is that MCC's 4th anniversary from when this is coming out was last weekend. That is literally the only thing I know. I watched the MCCs. I just don't remember the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh my god, I really enjoy doing this, and people seem to be like liking them. CPK liked my tweet one time, and I was like, oh my god, guys, it's happening. And then I had my first ever MCC skin 1 in the next one, MCC 20, which was Jack Manifold, and I still chose that skin even though I look at it now and I cringe. I'm like, this is so cool.
What's your first ever win skin? So
my first ever win skit. Oh my god, I've had so many dodge. Wait, it might have been the collab me and Masky did for MCC 29, where Dave got his first win. I think that genuinely might be my first win, because I had so many dodgeball skins.
I thought you said Jack Manifold won that. Oh, did Jack? I thought you
No,
said
no,
Jack
he
Manifold
wore
won
it.
that season. Oh,
No,
sorry.
he
I
just
thought you said.
wore
I thought you
it.
said that he won it. My bad. Oh,
No,
sorry.
he just wore
Never
the
mind. It
skin.
wasn't your first ever win skin.
No, you're fine. No, my first ever win was like a good year after that point. So, you know, wasn't exactly particularly lucky. But yeah, so the whole reason I continued making skins at all was because Dave decided to be nice
It's
that
so
one time
crazy,
on stream.
Isn't it? It's so
And
crazy
I've-
what one person saying can change.
Oh yeah, and I've
everything.
told him this as well. And he was so lovely about it, and I continue to make him stuff because he's one of the coolest people for art and stuff. It's always so nice to see content creators appreciate their artists like a tiny bit. Because I wouldn't be like I wouldn't have met Masky, like I wouldn't have known 98% of the people I know now if, you know, Dave had not not been so encouraging on that one stream, and he was playing Skywars. I remember it. So it's just that, and then MCC obviously being the first event, like that was my introduction to Minecraft events. So that's why I still watch and make skins for MCC, because it was my introduction, and I'm never gonna quite get rid of it.
People really don't realize what it's like. For instance, I keep it very professional. I'm like you with the skins. I'm sure like you guys keep it very professional in the sense of like making the skins and stuff like that, and how you give them out, etc. But you're still allowed. You're human. You're still allowed to get excited about certain things. I remember once, like for instance, like on stream, I think it was like I was playing Parkour Warriors, and this was I was pretty recent into like CPK's chat, for example, and then like we were both streaming, right, and then he messaged in chat, "Oh, hi Orbitzz." I was like, "Huh? Like what?" Okay. like I'm streaming. I wasn't expecting this. You're also streaming, and then like I didn't even realize it was in the game, because I wasn't paying attention. I was playing Parkour Warriors, and he just messaged like, "Hi Orbitzz." I was like, "Oh, cool." And it's just little, even though that's not like a compliment, it's just little things of just acknowledgement and stuff like that can really motivate you, you know.
And I think especially for artists as well. Sorry, Masky, I'm taking up so much time. You can answer the question soon. But I think it's so important for especially larger content creators, or just content creators in general, to appreciate when somebody goes out of their way to do something for you, or make art, that kind of thing. Like, I think it's just so important to appreciate everything that people do for you, even if it's like a small way. I know it's quite difficult if you're like an enormous content creator, but just even attempting to appreciate some of the people that do make you things, it makes like a world of difference for an artist. Even if it's not just an artist, but for me specifically, like, it was the entire reason I continued to make skins, was that one. Like, I think I still have the clip on my phone actually of it, that I just kept, because I was like, I'm going to show Dave. So just those really small things that I just think it's so important, and it makes me so sad when I don't see people appreciating their artists even just like a tiny bit. It's so rare, I think, at the minute, especially with MCC. I feel like people are so used to getting art and MCC skins that they just forget that that's like someone has actually gone out of their way to make that for them. But so I could sit and complain about that for
we are going to talk about it. We are going to talk about it, because there's something
yes.
However,
I'll
let
let
Masky answer the question. This is a duo podcast after all.
Sorry, I told you I like talking.
No, you're all good, Space,
like I said, lads, I don't mind. I don't mind how long this podcast goes. I'm more than happy to record for a good amount of time, because, like I said, you guys are great to talk to. I enjoy editing this podcast. I'll enjoy editing this podcast. I'll be looking back here. I'll be laughing. I'll be re-listening to the stories. Like, I actually, that's what people don't realize, and it's why I can't stream and stuff like that. It's because I actually listen to the podcast back. I listen to even myself. I listen to every single word said, because I have to make sure, like, stuff is cut out and stuff. So But anyways, Masky, how did you get to making skins?
Take the spotlight.
Okay, so pretty much actually, an IRL friend got me into skin making, because back then they were also making skins, not for like any like event, just for themselves. That was like 5 years ago, and I was basically introduced to skin making by them, and I kind of was like, okay, let me try it too. Why not? And it was just like some test skins that I made, nothing specific. I did make some skins, funny enough, for Jacksepticeye, just because I was a Jacksepticeye fan back then, and I was like, you know what, might as well try. And then I kind of stopped for a bit, but got back more consistently making skins about, like, as I said, 2.5 years ago. And I made pretty much skins for the Dream SME at art, and I just made them for fun, because I was like, hey, they're probably not gonna get used, but I'm just gonna make them for fun. That's what usually other skin artists do too, which a lot of skin artists inspired me to make skins. I followed some, and it inspired me to just try it myself. I was like, why not try it? Might as well. You never know what happens. Yeah. Exactly. And I just made some skins. Obviously, I was a very small account back then with about like maybe 100 followers, and I just made them for fun, because why not? They got seen. It was really cool. I felt like it's appreciated, and like it made me continue. Then MCC came along, and I remember the first team that I made. I don't know which MCC it was, but it was the team of Tommy, Tubbo, Vicstar, and Nikki.
CC14 Red Rabbits.
Thank you.
Oh, hey. I should have brought AJX along. You would have known everything.
Don't worry, I'm good enough.
But yes, that was the first MCC team that I've ever made, and I just made them for fun because obviously I always just thought in my mind they're probably not gonna get used, but just make them. You never know what happens. And then I just started to continue making skins for MCC more than like for the Dream SMP and anything. And I still remember like the first skins that ever got into MCC weren't actually in the main event. Was Rising, which was the Blue Bats. That was the first ever MCC skins.
Oh, what team was that again? That was
the one with Golomel, Stemister, Your Mikester.
No way. Okay, that's cool. That's crazy. Oh man, that's crazy.
That is the first ever skins I got into MC.
I remember seeing those and thinking they were so cool.
I still love them to bits. It's still one of my favorite skins because obviously these were like the first skins that were ever used by Conning ever. And I felt like this was like so cool. I just wanted to continue because of that as well. And then there was one skin which I think few people do know from back then, which was the Tubbo Hunter skin that I've made for Halloween.
Yes!
And that one got seen by Tubbo. He replied to the tweet, and that boosted the tweet so much that it, to this day, it has 32k likes.
Holy!
And it is still one of
goat.
It is
hit
still
tweet.
One of it was back then. It was a hit tweet.
Definition of hit tweet.
I was very surprised when he saw it because it got boosted a ton by artists that he knew, and everyone was saying, "Hey, Tubbo should be using this," because obviously he was or still is an Owl Howl fan. And I was like, "Hey, might just make it. You never know." And then just that all happened, and this gave me so much motivation, so much confidence. Just continue and make more skins for whoever. And you, as I said, I never expected this to happen at all because I was back then when it happened. I think I had 200 followers, and when this whole thing kind of like slowed down, at the end of that, I had about 500, 600, maybe even 700. I don't quite remember, but it gave me so much. It gave me like such a big boost. I just decided to continue because this could be an opportunity that I should take. And since then, I've been making like MCC skins, then obviously also skins for Dream SMP, of which the first Dream SMP skin that ever got used was by CPK. And that just also motivated me even more. And all the skins that have been used that I made, I saw my improvement over the time. I was happy with what I was doing and just wanted to continue. And I literally have like a skin history of all the skins that have ever been used. Like, doesn't matter if it was an event, it was the main skin, it was for an SMP. I have them all like listed. And there's so many that I'm very proud of still, even though they're like very old. For example, as I said, the Tubbo Hunters, that basically started everything for me because I was a small account back then. No one really knew me. That just boosted it so much. And also, as I said, gave me motivation that I just want to make more and see what I can do. And that's just a bunch of skins that I list here that I'm very proud of. I don't know. There's also the Dream SMP Slimesicle skin.
Yes, I loved that one.
Huge surprise to me, by the way, because I made that for fun. I made it as like a fan skin. And one day I was just waking up. I was just like going on my phone, looking through my Twitter timeline. All of a sudden, I see a tweet which says, "Hey, Slimesicle has changed his skin for the Dream SMP." And I see my skin pop up, which I never made for him to like use. It was just for fun. And so that was like a big surprise because I don't know how he found it. Still don't know.
That skin is still so sick to me as well.
It's probably still up there for my favorite skins that I've ever made because it is, I don't know, as I said, I made it for fun and it just got used and I never expected it. So it made me really happy. But I still, when I woke up, and I literally woke up when I saw it, I was like, am I dreaming? Is this actually happening right now? So I never really expect that. But there's like a bunch of skins that I'm still super proud of.
I'm so glad other people make lists of their favorite skins that they've made. I'm so glad other people do it.
No, I literally have like a whole skin history and I just like, there's so many skins that I look at that I'm like, I'm proud of it. Even though it's like old or like maybe even recent, I just love no matter what. Because a lot of them have meaning. A lot of them have meaning too.
Oh, I get so attached to skins. I feel that's so
absolutely hard. Like there's so many where I'm just attached because either they helped me a lot, they gave me confidence, they gave me motivation, or just because they actually look and they like the Zanny Zombies skins we made.
They're so good.
They're probably my favorite event skins now.
I think that's our favorite. My favorite collab we've ever done. 100%.
Yeah, that as well. Absolutely.
Me when I make my own name MC, but it's actually skins I made for multiple different.
Oh, actually, I should mention that too. I started with Novus. When the
oh no.
like I think I don't know the rising skins weren't. I think they were PMC. But before that, like the first like 3 or 4 skins that are on my Twitter were made with Nova skins. So I started with that. I am glad I moved to PMC because goddamn, that was not a good website to actually make skins for. So for anyone that's like wanting to make skins, I definitely suggest PMC or even Block to start with.
Or even Skindex. Like
exactly.
I complain about Skindex now purely because I've gotten so used to PMC, but Skindex is honestly like one of the best places to start in my opinion.
It's true. It's like
very easy to use.
Either of these 3 are like great to start with. But yeah, another thing that also motivated me is I don't quite remember who the first content creator with me, but it was definitely also like huge boost for me. I can check real fine.
Only real goats like me still use Nova skin. Sorry, lads.
I reckon if I tried to make a skin with Nova skin now, I'd explode.
You'd cry.
I would cry.
Just don't do it while you're on the podcast,
there goes
please. We are
my
talking
10-minute record.
Burst into tears. 10-minute record? That's a whole other story, I feel like. That probably isn't for the podcast. Yeah, Masky, did you find a commission?
Yeah, I think the first one was Captain Puffy, actually.
Yes!
So that was really cool. I had to make a skin for them for the Dream SMP, and it was basically throughout the egg lore that happened, and that was the skin I had to make. So that was my first commission, but it wasn't my last, which I'm surprised about because I never expected to get commissioned by a content creator. But it's always a joy when you see just a little DM pop up being like, "Hey, I want a commission." It's just nice to see.
Puffy's commissioned you again as well, isn't she?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think
she's so lovely when it comes to skins.
Absolutely, I think they have been me the most. So, but there's definitely a lot more out there that have commissioned me. But it's always nice to see how appreciative some of them are. That they actually want to give you something back for what you have done for them, like all the MCC skins you have done. It was really really nice to see that they do support skin artists in a way.
It was like full circle when I got a DM from Dave being like, "Hey, can I commission you?" And I was like, "Oh my god!"
Absolutely.
I just like exploded. It was like this time last year, I think, actually, as well. Like he was just like, "Hey, can I commission you?" And I was like, you know. So
I totally feel you.
Not to boost your guys' egos, but you're both pretty cool. You know, you guys are hearing these stories. You guys are really cool. Fair play with the whole skins and stuff. I don't say that. I mean, as much as I think it about every guest, I don't say it much. But you guys are pretty cool. There you go. A little
Thank
mini.
you so much.
I had to like say pretty because I don't want to boost. I don't want to give you too much of a big head until.
I understand. I understand.
Maybe after the podcast, but during the podcast, I still need to keep it calm and collected.
Yeah, we need to stay level-headed, down to earth.
See, that's why I kickstarted with talking about the loss, and now I'm being really nice, you know, because then it matches out, you know.
Okay, do you want to do one more time? You know, make a tally on the side. You want to say that Masky won again? You want to bring that one up?
I guess all of like this talk about commissioning MCC like being commissioned by MCC participants and making skins for MCC. I feel like it transitions perfectly in the topic that you've been hinting at speaking about, and sounds like you really want to get into is about the appreciation and the lack of appreciation and the lack of like over the years of how it's kind of changed with thing. I mean, as if you want to get into it, I'm assuming it's a yes.
I mean, I don't want to obviously like spend the whole time talking about it.
Well, not 5 hours, but we can touch on it.
Well, I was I think both of our first event communities was MCC, which is, for someone who wants to feel appreciated, is not a great place to start. Mainly because MCC, I feel like especially now, since MCC is now like 4 years old, they're so used, like I said earlier, to just getting skins, and you know, you don't get credit, like you don't get mentioned. I mean, there's a couple of lovely people who give you like commands in chat, will always shout you out, have like a pinned thing in chat, you know, that kind of thing, where they're always really lovely. But I feel like people expect it so much now, because I remember I got a message, I think a couple of MCCs ago, because I'd only made like 2 teams, and I was like, "Oh, why aren't you making like this team?" And I was like, "Sorry."
What, by like a viewer or by a participant?
By viewer.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't a content creator. Don't worry about that.
I didn't think
but
so.
I feel like,
okay.
Yeah, but like, no, if they'd have said that to me, geez, I would. Anyway, but like even like community has become so like they just expect skin artists to come out with things that it's just like a little bit annoying when you're not appreciated, but it is still expected of you. And I know since making more of a transition towards like block wars and smaller events where people really do appreciate the things you're making. You just see the difference between like having like a content creator in block wars appreciating what you do more than anyone has ever done in MCC, and it's just a really big, sorry, Megalovania just came on my playlist and my brain like stopped for a second. Let me just
getting into music while recording the podcast. Wow.
Oh my god, sorry, I should be sat in complete silence in complete darkness.
I will say, and I'll admit this. I did make a deleted tweet when I was in was it Jackass Game Nights or something, and you guys were making skins of people. I can't remember what the tweet was directly, but I made like a jokey tweet.
This tweet.
Yeah, I made a joke.
Yeah, I replied to the tweet and then
I know. I'll admit it. I made like a jokey tweet like about, well, it was intended as a joke about like not getting skins, and it didn't mean to come off as in like a toxic or a salty or like an entitled way. And then when you replied to the tweet and we DM'd about it, like I deleted the tweet and I apologized, but I can kind of see now when you're talking about it as to why that tweet came off us so negatively, because it is, I realize as well, it's very expected that like skin artists should make, like, I'm not saying they should, I'm saying it's expected that they make it, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I don't really know.
So when I made the tweet, it was meant to be harmless and it was intended to be like a little bit of a mess about, and in the end I did end up getting someone to make us team skins. It was
no way, I wonder who.
It was for Mayhem. It was for Mayhem. It was for
was it for the
yes
the
when it was
Mayhem. Yes.
Yeah.
So I made your Jackass Game Night skins, but I didn't make your.
Yes, because I asked you for Jackass Game Nights, but then I ended up asking someone to make us team skins, and it was kind of a last minute thing because I just thought my team were gonna ask, but then it was just a miscommunication, so none of us actually ended up asking anyone.
I think even. I don't know. I think being asked for skins is so much nicer than just being like expected. Like even if I'm like busy and someone kind of is like, "Hey, do you mind making skins?" and I will 98% of the time I will say yes, because I think it's so nice that you know, as long as you give me enough time, you know, you don't tell me about 2 hours before the event, you know.
That's what I mean. My like tweet was never intended to like be in a negative light or thing, but now after what you said, I realized as to why it came off so badly, and I apologize. I did apologize, and I haven't done anything silly since with it, and you know, I'm very appreciative of skin makers, you know, like I'm talking to you guys about it and listening to all the stories because I do enjoy hearing it, you know.
Mm-hmm. So. I know both me and Masky specifically, I think, so us now, we definitely have a couple of content creators that we would make skins for nearly every event because they've been the people to consistently, you know, give us credit, commission us, you know, give us the time of day as artists rather than just kind of being like, oh, thanks, you know, like people who've actually tried. So I know I think me and Masky both have very obvious branding when it comes to content creators. For me it's Purple and for Masky it's CPK. Like we've both got our like one specific content creator that we would always, you know, we would most likely, me personally, if Purple wanted to skin for me, by the way. I would drop everything and I would be like, yes, you know, because he's he's been so lovely. He's, you know, shouted me out every time. He's been so nice, you know, like everything with block wars and, you know, that kind of thing. Like he's just been so nice, and just to have that compared to obviously I was making just MCC skins and only MCC skins for like 2 years and not getting really any credit at all. To have that kind of thing, you do get attached to content creators quite quickly, not in a parasocial fashion, just in like an artist kind of, oh, you know, I will always make you stuff if you would want it kind of thing. So it's, you know, especially when you're so used to people just never appreciating you.
Well, it's like watching streams, really. Like you pick, you get more attached to certain creators, or you enjoy it. Like for instance, I'm on Masky's side here with like the whole CPK thing. Like where like sometimes when I'm at work, like all week I've been closing, right? The CPK's live, I slap on his stream while I'm closing, and I won't watch anyone else. I'll just always pick CPK as long as he's live, because that's just what I do, you know. So
and he's also streaming in convenient times where it's like he's not streaming while others are necessarily streaming.
Yeah,
it's pretty
true,
nice.
yeah.
So you can kind of catch a stream, and it's always like good. Like it's a good time for like a lot of people.
I didn't mean to cut you off there, Space. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Don't worry. But yeah, it's just more of me wishing that content creators were just more appreciative, really. I know Hermitcraft do an absolutely wonderful job with skin artists. I know that group specifically has always, so like when I made Impulse MCC skins, he would always pay me afterwards when their team decided to use them. And I know Scar has been nice to the skin artists about if he uses it on Hermitcraft, and he's always paid and he's always given credit. Like Hermitcraft have always been really good, and I think they kind of set the example of how to treat artists. But that's probably because they've been around, you know, a fair amount of time time, and they've gathered quite a nice audience and that kind of thing. So they're kind of like the shining stars of how to treat an artist, really, to me. So, but it's like a lot of I didn't want to say Dream SMP because there's been a couple of them who've been absolutely lovely, but like that kind of side, more that side of things, you'd never see. I mean, I had use my skins of 1MCC and never got credit, never got anything for it. And like Masky said about Tubbo earlier, even just like a retweet or like a reply or something like that is just so much nicer than just like ignoring the person who made you something.
But that's
it's also with people like not only replying, but also I've seen, for example, Krinia is a good example for this, because when he tweets his going live, he does give credit to you either on the main tweet or on like a tweet below, and that's also a nice way of doing it, because basically that's the tweet that a lot of people will see because you are going live for MC, and it's a really good way of just kind of giving back and giving credit to the artist. There's a lot more ways that you do it, like as we already said, like retweet the skins, like the skin post, either reply to it, mention it in a stream maybe, or make a command. A really, really nice way for people that just join in to know, okay, who actually made them. Like a lot of people I have seen make a command, it's just like ! skins or ! team skins or whatever, and then it's just the Twitter link or like of your account, or just the main tweet that the skins were about. And it's a really nice way of just giving credit, showing appreciation to the art, rather than just kind of like taking it and just never mentioning anything at all. Because that just kind of is, I feel it's not a good way of doing it, because it's just, you take the art, never give credit, never say who it actually was. It's like, I don't know, I just don't like it. I don't like that. But if you just do just a little reply, or just, I don't know, just mention it on stream,
something is better than nothing. Yeah,
exactly. Just one thing is better than just not mentioning it at all.
Yes.
I mean, it's a bit of a harder comparison to make, but in my head it's made sense, and that's what I'm going to say out loud. It's like, for instance, with the podcast, I never expect anyone who's come on the podcast as a guest to quote retweet or retweet the announcement. I mean, obviously I sent the idea to you guys about doing the funny image tweet, quote retweet. I thought it was funny. I've been like, KOF's one with the gritty, that was also me. It's just funny little ideas, right? So, but I never expect anyone to like quote retweet afterwards. And then when I had Cloudfuel on to talk about MCC Twitch Rivals, right? They didn't retweet the original tweet, the announcement tweet. Because once again, I don't expect that, so it's completely fine. So I was like, because normally how it works is if someone retweets the first tweet, they retweet the second one, right? If they don't retweet the first one, they don't retweet the second one. Which, once again, want to be very clear, completely fine. I never expect anything else. But then they quote retweeted their tweet, and they got replies from like Fulham, Corryway. Corryway ended up liking the main tweet. And I was like, they didn't have to do that. There's like thanking us. Feinberg as well. Feinberg quote retweeted the podcast he came on, and he was like, if you want to listen to a really cool podcast about me, go check this out. And it's like, you don't have to do that, but it's so nice when you do. You didn't have to say that, you didn't have to retweet it, but you did. And it's kind of the same with skins. Like, I mean, in a case of it's obviously preferred more that you do, so like not linking it in a way of don't have to do it, but like linking in a way of like really appreciative when you do, kind of thing. It's a nice gesture. Gesture. There you go. So
words are hard. No, I understand.
Yeah, no,
words can be hard, especially when you've had a long day like I have. But yeah, do you get the comparison? Was that a good one, or?
I get that.
I
totally get that.
Because I know I've definitely sorry. Oh god. Just one last point.
We still have so much time. Carry on.
Yeah, I was gonna say one last point. I was gonna say it was I know I've had a couple of times where people have gotten like annoyed at me before about like wanting credit or like wanting to get it, because it's like, oh, you're entitled. Like, you shouldn't expect content creators to appreciate you. Like, you shouldn't expect them to like retweet or go out of the way to. And I was like, going out of the way, it takes like 5 seconds to be like, our skins were made by Spacebr0wnies on Maskyzee. Like, that kind of thing. Where it's like, where I was like upset because I'd made like 8 skins for MCC and I hadn't received like a single shred of credit from any of them. And I was like, oh.
See, right. I hate as well when people are like, oh, but they paid you, so like, not in this case, but like they were like, oh, but they commissioned you, so why do you have to think? Like, for instance, AOT, right? AOT made an amazing, I don't know if you guys saw it, an amazing midweek MC art piece, right? Because I commissioned them to do so. I even have it printed as a canvas. It's not on my wall yet, but it's gonna go on my wall, and it's so cool, right? And I commissioned them for it, but I still posted it on Twitter. I still credited them. I still thanked them because I hate it when people go, oh, but they gave you money, so why do they need to thank you? It's like, it doesn't matter if they paid you. Like, it's still cool to get a thank you. It's still cool to see, like, and as much as they don't have to, because they paid you, it's also still really cool just to see them thank you publicly,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I get that. No, I get that. That's like the last I'll say on it. Otherwise, I could be here for like ages.
We'll
like a bunch
of
we can move on. Don't worry.
and I don't have to be editing anything out that isn't wanting to be said. So, you know, I will say, however, that the podcast is cooking up an idea. Wherever it goes through, it probably will, hopefully before the end of the year. I have contacted you, Spacebr0wnies, about a commission. Maskyzee, I am also going to be contacting you about commission.
Live commission.
Yeah, so I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'll tell you after the podcast, of course.
I'll get it.
But it's to do with the podcast, and both of you will obviously get credit within the thing as well. So, you know, if you're listening to this, you might see a Spacebr0wnie and different skins from both of them, but you'll see both of their skins hopefully featured in something. Hopefully before the end of the year. Ideally before. It wouldn't make sense if I did it next year, so it has to be before the end of the year. So, but yeah, just I guess a little hint, an Easter egg that you guys can expect. There we go. So I guess moving on from skins now, unless you guys have anything else to say about skins that we haven't covered, but I feel like we've done a pretty good job today.
No, I think we're
good.
We've gotten some lore from both of us.
True.
Exactly.
So we've talked
stories as well.
Exactly, and we've talked a lot about you guys making skins for other people in tournaments, but we haven't touched much on you guys in tournaments. So you both have played in a lot more recently. You know, you've both been in Block Wars Origins. Space, you actually made a feature in the official Block Wars as a sub for
as a substitute for one whole game. My heroic spleef performance.
Spacebr0wnies Block Wars lore. I mean, you know, there it is.
Spleef extraordinaire.
You both won a Jackass Game Nights on the same team. You also both won PBU. I guess we'll start talking about that one first, since this is one that, you know, you guys can kind of both be on the same page here. How was that?
That was so much fun. I think that genuinely that team as well is one of the most
Who was the team again for the viewers?
It was me, Masky, Evasive, and Sneak Venom. And I'm pretty sure Garth added us all to PBU because he wanted to team us all. I'm pretty sure he had the team in his idea. Garth, you can prove me wrong if you ever listen to this ever. But I'm pretty sure. I think it was there was only 2 team combinations that he could have given us. And it was either the team we got or it was me, Masky, Floris, and Briggs, which is disgusting. It would never be allowed. So we ended up with that team.
I mean, you say it would never be allowed, just still won anyways.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It didn't matter. It didn't really matter, did it?
Barely. We scraped ourselves in there.
I remember watching it. You were both so good. You played so well.
God.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Never toughing that performance.
Neither am I.
Yeah, no, it's probably never happening. But it was so much
for us too. It was our best performance so far, I feel like.
Either that or whatever the hell happened in Mania 7.
What happened in Mania 7?
Mania 7, I was top 5 halfway through the event.
Oh, jeez. Okay, fair enough.
And then I dropped to 16.
That's still better than I do in tournaments.
Well, yeah, exactly. But I was 5th after 3 games, one of them being a PvP game, and I was like, holy moly, I don't know, what am I on right now? But yeah, no, PvP was definitely peak, and we all did so well. It was so much fun.
The entire team was doing so
Masky
really well.
nearly didn't get in.
Yeah.
So that story. So when you applied to PBU, I don't know if you did, but when you applied to PBU,
I did,
you had to give a thing about why you should join. And my application apparently was 10. I don't know why, but obviously I'd written about skins because I'd been making skins for PB for a few months before that. At this point, I was watching every PB, mostly just Cal, but I was watching every PB. And I'd put that in my application. And I'd put something about the music and about the build. Oh, I just smacked my microphone. And that kind of thing. So my application was really good. And then we found out that Masky's application, if I hadn't demanded to be in a duo with her, that she would not have gotten in without my application.
Yeah, I would have not gotten in.
Isn't that a bit crappy to hear though? I feel it's still cool that you got in and it's still cool that you won it, but I feel if somebody turned around to me and was like, yeah, your application wasn't good, you wouldn't be in if it wasn't for this person, I would have been like, yeah.
But then Masky carried me in the actual event, so I really don't think
so we kind of
I guess it cancelled out. True. Yeah, that's fair enough. Space carried you into the event and you carried them in the event.
Yes, exactly. That's what we said.
There we go.
But it was, oh my god, it was so much fun. I'm so glad that they did an event. It was really cool. And I made how did I feel getting it? Garth messaged me at 3 a.m.
Rising per se, but he
messaged me at 3 a.m. being like, hello, and me with my sleep schedule that doesn't exist was awake, and I was like, hello Garth, and he was like, do you like to join PBU? And all I sent back, I think, was just an unintelligible key smash followed by a bunch of exclamation marks. And he was like, oh, have I made your day? And I was like, Garth, it just started, so yes. I remember that interaction so clearly. Then I joined and I was like, oh my god. And then we got when we got announced being on the pink team, in the server, everyone was like, like, oh my god, Spacebr0wnies will pick team again, and I was like, sorry, my bad. You know, like it was just so much fun, and I think most of the people in the event were so lovely, and
absolutely,
it was so nice, and that's how I met Brinks as well. I've met so many people through it as well. So.
Oh, you never met Brinks before?
That's the first time I properly spoken to Brinks was because of PBU.
You were meant to be on a team.
Yeah, Brinks was one of the few people I had down on my list as like, I wouldn't mind being teamed with. So yeah, but yeah, what about you, Maskyzee?
Dude, like Pandora's Box, like it was such a fun experience to me. It was like it was the first event also that we won. That is like it really is engraved in my brain because this was so much fun throughout. We were on our toes when we were there watching if we got third or second or whatever.
Dude, I was ready to start screaming.
Yeah, we were all just like, oh, please no. And then when we saw that we got Coliseum, just like we really tried to like win this thing, but we were all not expecting it at all from the start. We were like, we're just gonna be silly, we're just gonna have fun no matter what happens.
Yeah, no, because everyone was like VOD reviewing and making like spreadsheets of everyone's stats, and we made a spreadsheet of Evasive's wardrobe.
Exactly.
Why?
We were prepared.
Because we were like, okay, because Snake was like, yeah, we want a spreadsheet because I know half the other teams are making spreadsheets, and we were like, what could we make a spreadsheet on? And Evasive turned his camera on, and Snake was like, oh my god, we should do a spreadsheet of Evasive's wardrobe.
Yeah.
And it was like like wearability, like warmth, color, you know, that kind of thing. Like we just had this whole stupid little spreadsheet of Evasive's like hoodies. So,
it was so funny.
And that's all the. I think we watched one VOD and we made fun of the VOD the entire time. So like we went in and we were like, no, we're just going in for silly vibes only. And then somehow we come out with it with a win after like half the other teams were like VOD reviewing and being little nerds and that kind of thing. Like I know me and Masky finished the first part of Hardcore on Minor like just before the event as well. So like we were just not taking it like too seriously whatsoever. So
we just definitely have fun.
I think that's probably why we won, to be honest.
This is more aimed at space a little bit, Masky, because you're good in events. No,
wow.
That sounds great.
No,
I'm so sorry. No. Let me finish. Oh god, I'm space. It didn't mean to sound like
you're okay.
Okay,
Don't worry.
And do you know how you mentioned how you're
it's okay.
Do you know how you mentioned like you basically implied that you're a bit of like a third frag? You said you came 15th, like Mania, and like what did you frag in? What did you frag in PBU?
In PBU, well, if I tell you Masky, Snake, and Venom got 7th, 8th, and 9th.
There we go. See, okay, so
like,
you know, I'm not trying to call you bad, but there's also there's a question coming from this. No, this sounds so rude. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, this doesn't mean to be targeting towards you. But like with Mania, for example, right? The first ever one I played, the only ever Mania I've played in was Pride. Not really the best of memories, but we won it. Not best of memories for certain reasons, which I won't get into. However, with like Mayhem, for example, I have placed, I think, like 26th and 20th. Like I am very, very bad when it comes to, especially mainly because all my time is spent on the podcast, right? So I've become very, very bad at Minecraft. So like, does it sometimes feel? I mean, this is from me. Like, it feels really, really nice being like a bottom frag because like it feels like there's a lot less pressure, right? Like I'm always gonna get put on a team with people who are good, and I'm always gonna get like, and there's not pressure for me to do well because I'm not the best of players, and then my team know that because they see my stats. Like that's what I'm saying. It's not meant to come off as like toxic, but do you feel the same way?
No,
Does it feel
I get
like
that.
Nice sometimes not having the pressure going into tournaments?
Oh yeah, no. Usually, most of the time as well, I am the very clear bottom frag as well. So I genuinely don't mind. A lot of the times I will go into events. I'll obviously I know with Team Flirt at least we did a lot of stuff together, but like half the time we just weren't like being nerds. I know we watched How to Flirt 101 before the event, you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah, so you know, very inspirational. But like obviously I go into events and I'm like, okay, I know I'm most likely bottom 10, blah blah blah. Like I'll obviously always want to do better, but I would never put too mumuch pressure on myself. You know, obviously there's some pressure and I'm a little bit hard on myself, but you know. But it's like you go in and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna do as well as I can because 90% of the time the best I can do is, you know, good enough. Just depends on my teammates. But then I think this last block wars, which again you can say that I lost.
No, I'm not meant to be targeted abuse. I'm sorry, okay. I don't mean
it's funny. No, it's funny.
It's funny. I don't mean to be rude.
No, it's funny.
Okay, all right.
It's funny. But like I was the fourth frag on that team, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh no. You know, it was like, oh no, I actually have to do like a little bit better than usual if I'm like the fourth frag. But most of the time I will also always get my duos because I always nerf people. It's great. So you know, that kind of thing, it is quite nice to be a bottom frag, I will admit.
And then on the other
when
hand,
I'm not the bottom frag, then I get stressed.
Yeah. And then on the other side of things, which neither of us can relate to, does it sometimes feel a bit too much pressure, Masky, being good at the game?
Okay, so I actually have an answer for that. With like usually being the second frag now, at least in Origins, it is very much a pressure because obviously it's still fun to like just play the game, do whatever you want, but sometimes you have this kind of pressure to be the second or maybe even third frag, depends on what event it is, and you're like, okay, I don't do well. The entire team has like, it's like really dependent on you because obviously the top frag usually does well, usually is pretty consistent.
You had Kel in Block Wars, right? I believe.
Yeah, exactly. So I had Kel in like two teams so far, and like this guy is very consistent.
A little less pressure.
Yeah, pretty much, because like they just usually like, they're like usually good. And as a second frag or even third frag, you are maybe not as consistent, but you're good. And you just have this pressure of like, okay, you need to do a little well in the event, or else your team or like the team will have dropped numbers and you will not be like where you were predicted to be because of what people expect you. And you have like also this expectation of like what people want, or not really what people want, but like what people expect you to do, what
people are assuming, I guess, because it's never really expected. It's more just they're assuming you're going to do well. Same way when I go into Mayhem now, I assume I'm not going to do very well now.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's just a little bit of pressure, but it's not the biggest pressure. I just go into events and try to have fun, try to do well, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And it is some sort of pressure because obviously have like you have in your mind, okay, I'm the second or third frag, but it's not like the main part that you're thinking about during an event. So it's just kind of you go in, you try your best, and you see what happens.
Yeah, that's fair. And then like, I guess oh yeah, go on. Sorry.
It's just, for example, as I already said, I assume, at least for the last two events, I've been put as the second frag. But it's not in every event like this. Like, if we look back into Mayhem, I did bottom frag, and I think I was put as a bottom frag.
What team was that? That
was Jack, Sandwich Lord, and Face Ray with me.
I don't really think there was a bottom frag on that team. I think Sandwich and like...
I think they're all just very good.
Yeah, I think Sandwich was like... I think probably Sandwich was probably put as like the top frag, and then the rest of you were second frags.
Yeah, pretty much, but it just kind of went like the way it did, and in that case, I was basically the bottom frag.
But it has to be a bottom frag, no? Like there has to be. So like
yeah, exactly. And I didn't mind that at all. I was just like trying my best, and I ended up being the bottom frag, and I did not mind at all because it was still a fun team to play with. I really don't mind where I'm like put, because as long as I have fun with my team, it's gonna be a fun event nonetheless, no matter where we play. I really don't look much into placements or like where we place or how we play. Just as long as the team vibe's good and we have a good chemistry, it's gonna be all right.
And that's why like your team, for example, in PBU, even despite doing a wardrobe review, the one event.
yeah, no, the wardrobe review, that was the secret. That was the secret.
Right.
Yeah, secret. No one was allowed to know.
And continuing from that, I guess, like you finally broke the curse, right? Like I found it quite funny because this podcast was also announced on the 3rd. So
yeah, I know.
And it's going out. Is it going out on a 3? Is it by any chance? Oh no, it's going out on the 17th. Never mind. But like, yeah, it was quite funny because like, you know, you came. I mean, other than winning Mayhem, you came 3rd in majority of Block Wars, other tournaments, and then now you've won it finally.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I'm still like very happy about it and did not expect it to even happen this year. But I'm very glad that it happened with Team Curse, considering that pretty much all of us have gotten 3rd with Cal at least once. And
don't worry, we can blame Cal.
No, but like even not considering like that, like every one of us has at least got the 3rd once, no matter where, like at least. And it's just funny that it like we broke the curse and won the event as Team Curse. I think it's just very funny to me, and it's also like I love the team. It was very, very fun.
It's always made me.
I wasn't on it.
It's always made me.
You made the skins. You were there in spirit.
Bro, you all won it. All 6 of you won
exactly. And it was kind of like not a rerun, but 3 out of 5 Flood was on that team as well.
It was Flirt without the people who flirt.
There
was no Flirt. It was Flirt without the Riz. Sorry.
Without the Riz.
I had to make it known.
But you were there still in spirit because you did make the skin, so.
And I did flirt with you in Minecraft.
Exactly. Yeah, when I did do the first scoring in Bridges, I saw your chat messages.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
And thank you again. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
I'm gonna be straight with you. I was out drinking, so I didn't watch, sadly.
Honestly, valid.
I went out with my dad for like 5 hours worth of pool, and I was drinking Guinness. So that was
yeah, maybe if I'd have drank Guinness, I would have played better.
You should next time. Next time you're on Block Wars Origins, have a pint.
Let's have Team Sober. and you get really drunk.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
See, it's so sad that I'm not in Origins because I'd be so down for like a drunk team. Because I think Mayhem.
Oh,
like,
me and Sarah have talked about a drunk team ever since we joined. We've been like, it would be so funny.
That'd be so fun. I'd watch that POV 100%. 100%.
I'll be like British and Germans, and it would be stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much covers the whole tournament section. Really, there's not really too much. I mean, other than I guess we'd touch on it a bit more. Space. How did it feel playing partially in the main block wars?
Oh my god, I was on the admin stream. Like the whole reason I was even like put in is because I was on the admin stream, being like spectating, you know, and me and Piggles were on it. And I know Alex was really struggling for a sub, and he was like, just grab someone off the admin stream. And Piggles was like, well, I'd have to play blindfolded and with one hand. And then it just went silent, and I was like, hey guys. Hi. So hey, and then I remember someone was like, welcome to the big leagues, and I was like, what? And then all of a sudden I'm in the orange team VC. But it was probably really helpful that I made that team skins, because they were like, oh my god, it's our skin artist, and everyone was very lovely to me. And then I got 22nd in Spleef, and it was great, and I nearly cried because I was so stressed, but it was great. It was so much fun, to be honest.
Where did you place
it was
that
very
event?
Unexpected.
Where did you place that event?
41st.
Let's go. Wasn't that like a new
Let's
record,
go.
by the way?
Hero mode. What do you mean?
I think that's like a new record for like the lowest placement or the lowest points in block wars.
No,
or
it wasn't. It wasn't, because I got 204 points.
Oh, I thought it was like I thought it was a record for. That's
And then
that's
the
quite
fun
a lot
thing
of points,
is-
actually, to be fair.
Thank you. Spleef extraordinaire, what can I say? And then the funny thing is,
Spacebr0wnies.
the next week was Block Wars 23, and surprise, surprise, someone had to sub out, and it was like, oh, hey guys, so, you need a sub?
But you didn't get
Hello?
subbed into that, did you?
I did.
Oh,
I
you
got subbed
did?
into that. I made it to Bridges, bro.
Oh, wait,
and I
you played the
scored in
entire Block Wars
Bridges.
event?
I was on Team Krill.
Oh, I didn't realise you played an entire Block Wars. Oh,
I'm not an entire. No, I played 3 games, and one of them was Spleef.
I'm so out of the loop. I'm so sorry. Well,
But I was like
it's hard
sat.
to keep up, okay?
I was like sat waiting to be subbed in because I'd already been asked like to be on standby because someone was having internet issues. So I was like ready to sub in. So as soon as Yuri had to go, and I was just like, hey Goff, so let me in, please.
Soon, one day you'll get to play like a full event.
And then
surely.
the funniest thing was that I placed 40th and not 41st
W.
because I managed to overtake the person I'd replaced in 3 games.
Actually, crack.
So, you know, if I can ever pull out a Krill performance ever again, it's over for everyone.
Maybe
But
you are an S
unfortunately-
tier base.
Maybe I'm just like a secret S tier.
Secret. Only when
I'm
you
just
feel
not. I'm
it.
like I haven't unlocked my potential.
You're like what's it called? A super sub. There we go.
Thanks.
Super sub.
I'll take it.
W name.
I'll take it. And well, now I'm an official sub for the Block Wars
Football
event.
terms,
So.
so, you know.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I'm like an S tier in vibes. We'll go with that.
There
if
we
we
go.
had to
Both of
cope.
you S tiers and vibes. There you go.
You're so rude. Put me and Masky together on a team. Jova.
So, as if that hasn't happened before.
Should happen more.
It'll happen at every
True,
event.
Exactly.
I mean, there's a certain Jackcast game nights coming up, so maybe. We might
Oh,
see,
that would be crazy for both artists.
Wait,
that it's an artist
wait.
Jack has game night.
No
that would be
way,
crazy. If we
maybe
already
not.
had a
It wouldn't be
team.
crazy if you
Really
guys were on the
crazy.
same team. No, oh no. Actually,
We
when
would have a team.
Wait, when is Jackcast game night?
That's actually a really good question.
It is on. I have it. I've wrote it down in my.
Please
diary.
actually tell me because I may have double booked.
I think it's on Saturday the 18th.
Okay, we're chilling.
So
We're
it's
chilling.
tomorrow from when this podcast is coming out.
Guys, it's tomorrow, and I'm on a team with
Unless
blank,
it's tonight.
blank, and blank.
It might be tonight. I mean, technically, if you know your team, you can actually say it because I'm part of the admin team. I just don't know the teams.
Oh,
Actually, don't say it just in case things change. Probably for the best. Because
Yeah,
the podcast
yeah,
is coming
yeah,
out
yeah.
next Friday, so it's still quite a while away. Anyways, unless you guys have anything else to talk about that I've missed this podcast, we can move into the Twitter questions.
what's a question section?
I guess something else. Yeah, we've covered everything.
Yes. Let's see what the Twitter has to say.
I guess for the Twitter question segment, we'll probably do an answering one by one. Just to, I mean, actually, you know what? Screw it. Fuck it, we ball. We've been doing it the entire podcast. Right. I have 3 Twitter
Hell yeah.
questions for you both. Not individually. It's just 3 Twitter questions, and both of you are going to answer them.
Okay.
The first one comes from a familiar name, Tiny Riot X.
What? No way.
And they asked, where do you both get your inspirations for skins? And they also added, they're always so pretty and unique.
Ooh, okay. So me and Masky a lot recently have been doing all the inspirations together. So I know sometimes for teams, you see a team and a color and you're like, okay, oh my god, we need to do that kind of thing. Like sometimes it'll just, I don't know how, it'll just come to me and I'll be like, whoa. But for other teams, I'm trying to think of I know for orange, like MCC, the orange ones we do sparkles and puns and that kind of ones, the really cool ninja
yeah.
ones. You came up with that idea, and I don't understand where you got it from, but it was one of the most banger ideas ever, and I think it came from because I said I wanted to give puns a knife, and you were like, hey, let's just make them into ninjas. So, that kind of thing where it's just like, it like all kind of comes from like, you just kind of throw ideas at each other. It's especially easier in a collab where you just kind of throw ideas at each other. If I don't have an idea for a team I'm doing solo, I will usually not do it, or I will ask the team themselves. So for block wars or for smaller events, it's very easy to get in contact with the people whose skins you're making and ask them what they want. 9 times out of 10, people will usually have an idea. If not, it's you go off the names, and then if you're even stuck, then you usually ask people, you just don't make them. So a lot of the time, it's talking to other people about the ideas. Because this is another point I did want to bring up. Masky, do you remember that Reddit post where someone was like, all these MCC skins have been so unoriginal?
Oh, yeah.
So someone made a Reddit post on the MCC subreddit being like, the skin artists, they're really unoriginal, and all the skins look the same, and, they really want to see something original and something fun, and, like, they were just complaining. And while it shouldn't bother me, it like sits in my head. So every set of team skins.
I respect why it probably bothers you. It's the same way if someone called the podcast gets boring, I'd be like, but why? What's the need for the comment?
Well, yeah, exactly. So it's like they were both insulting the work of all the artists who've ever made skins, and they were also just being
it's just pointless.
Yes, I was going to insult them, but I won't.
No, probably best you don't. In case they are listening,
best I don't. I'll hold it back. Don't worry. But ever since I've met every single team skin I've made since that Reddit post, I've been like, I have to be original. I have to be fun. I have to do something different. And I feel like that, while I complain about it, it's kind of made me think a little bit more about my theming. And I've definitely said my skins over the past 2 months have been more interesting than half the skins I've made in my entire skin making career. But I know with me and Masky, we will always like throw ideas back and forth, and then we make the palette based on that, and then we just kind of go off. Masky's designs are always really cool. I just pointed at the screen because it was pointing at you. But Masky's designs are always really sick, and I've taken a lot of inspiration, especially when I work with Masky. It's like Masky's like probably one of my number one inspirations when it comes to skins. Oh my god, what a little fan. But like getting ideas is probably takes the longest, I'm gonna be honest. It takes me longer to come up with color palettes and ideas than it does to make me a single skin. So like sometimes you can kind of look up themes surrounding the color as well, if you don't want to go off just the name, but it's usually talking to other people or what the content creator wants. Most of the time you won't be left by yourself coming up with themes if you do it, like if you actually try and think about it. Because I know when I was making 40 out of 40, I just wasn't making themes, I was just throwing clothes on people and there was no theming whatsoever. So trying to come up with new themes, and I always think I'm going to run out of color palettes and themes, and then I haven't yet. So
I'll tell you what, Space is the only person who can answer 6 unasked questions while answering a question.
Shit, did I?
You answered it. No, you answered it. I'm just saying you answered about 6 other questions as well that I didn't ask. No, I respect it.
I get a little
every basis,
reward.
And plus more watch time. We're getting more watch time for the podcast now. I mean, so.
And I get to talk, my favorite thing.
Exactly. Well, what about yourself, Masky? Is it kind of the same thing as Space, or?
Pretty much, yeah. Like, I totally agree that the post that I sent the artist, that it also stuck in my head, and I'm also thinking about it being like, okay, I kind of want to expand, try to think of new ideas that I can come up with, because like I am always the person that like, hey, I want to do a theme, I want to try something, because I always want to try something new. For example, with Zany Zombie skins and Block Wars, I did get inspiration from Face's idea with like all the blood and like rib cages being open. I didn't even think of that. I just took inspiration from, implemented it in my skin as well, and just we kind of work it with collabs. We really work together a lot. We take inspiration from each other and just try. I mean, with like taking inspiration, do make them look similar with like all the things we add, and I think that's kind of like it's pretty cool how we work with that. And
it's really cool how we can have the same theme, the same color palette, and the skins turn out not so different, but like they turn out similar enough to be on a team, but they're so unique in their own way. And I think that's like my favorite thing about collabs.
And you can also tell like who made who, and that's also pretty good, because even though it's like the same color palette, the same theme, the same ideas, you can still kind of tell who made who, because we have both our own style, which obviously is like a good. And if I do skins by myself, what I usually do is it also depends if it's like a specific team. Then I'm like, okay, I have an idea for, I want to specifically do this or do that, which is kind of natural because I don't really look at reference. I just think of it in my head. I'm just looking at a team and I'm like, okay, this theme could actually fit this whole thing pretty well, and I'm just going with pretty much that. And then I try to think of the color palettes, try to make outfits, then take inspiration or take references from like the internet. It could either be outfits that I think of, or even skins, kind of like get the idea how it could work on a skin to get kind of an inspiration from that as well. So that's how I pretty much do it by myself. And if I don't have a theme, but I really want to make that team, I just put them in like specific outfits which aren't that difficult. Usually what I go with, like with a suit or a dress, is what I usually go with if I don't have a necessary like a good like an idea for that team, but I really want to do it.
Yeah, that's I mean, kind of with the whole like idea that you guys were mentioning with like collabs and stuff, is for instance with midweek MC, right? I invited AJX on mainly because I needed a co-host, but also because like I knew, and I made an appreciation tweet about for him yesterday from when this podcast is being recorded, and like I meant it so much. Like he has helped so much with just like ever since he's in midweek MC has got announced. Most of the ideas are mine, but some are his as well. Like the promotion tactics, the it's not even his impact, but somehow like the guests I'm getting on the podcast are so cool as well, and they've always been cool, but still like I don't know how to explain it, but like by now like when this podcast is coming out, the guest would have been announced last week, and there's also a pretty, if both go through, there's also a pretty cool guest being announced on the Monday after, like before this as well. And it's like, you know, it's like kind of like with you guys matching collab ideas and stuff like that. With AJX, we match ideas, we match podcast ideas, and it's like, you know, some are his, some are mine, you know, that kind of ideas. It's a hard comparison, but the comparison's still there, kind of thing. I do a lot where I try to show that I relate to you guys by giving my own examples, and I can't really do that because I can't make I can't make skins. They're not as good as you guys, anyways. Nor do I think I have the time, because I've dedicated all my time to this. So you know. But you guys do a really, really good job with your ideas and stuff like that. So
thank you.
The next one then comes from Leo Vanka, and I think you guys are going to like this one. Mm-hmm. What is the most important aspect when doing skins? And do you have any tips or useful tools for someone looking to become a skin artist?
You repeat the first section. My brain fully focused on the
I'll do the first section, then I'll ask the second section.
Okay, that would be nice.
What is the most important aspect when doing skins?
Okay, so for me, specifically with my event skins, the most important aspect of it is mainly to make them feel like a team, like a cohesive team, and you know, just making them fun, just making something that I enjoy making it. I think the most important aspect, especially with team skins, it can feel a little bit like boring, but it's to make sure you're still having fun with it is the most important aspect, I think, because I've seen a couple of people. I know there was one person who was getting really disheartened about making team skins because, you know, other people's skins were being worn, and I completely understand that because I had that at one point. But I think just the most important aspect is just actually still enjoying it, because if you don't enjoy it, then it's going to show, and you're not going to have fun, and you're just going to get burnt out, and it's going to be miserable. So that's probably the most important aspect personally for me, because I know I tried to push myself a little bit too hard earlier this year and just kind of like melted into like a sad pile on the floor and couldn't make anything. So I would say that, if I've understood the question correctly.
Yeah,
but
I mean, that's your own opinion.
That's my interpretation.
They asked you guys, so you know.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Masky? What would you say is yours?
I honestly kind of like agree with Base here. If as long as you enjoy making the skins, that's like already like 100% really good. It doesn't really matter like if they look really good to you, or like if they are like already, you will always be able to. But at that moment, as long as you like it, as long as you enjoy it, and as long as you think, okay, this is something I create, something I like, and then post it, that is already like already a really good step. Because that's something for me as well back then that I used to do. I made skins for them to be used, and when they weren't, it always bothered me because I thought, okay, this is like they don't like them, or it's just something that they don't want to use. But I stopped doing that and just focused on, as long as I enjoy it, I want to make these skins, and I don't really care if they get used. And then it's a lot better for you as well when making those skins, because you don't have that in your mind the entire time being like, hey, I want this to be used now. Because if they do get used, then when you just make them fun, it's a different feeling than if you make it for the pure purpose of them being used. So really, as long as you enjoy making them and don't do them just to get like your skins out there, that's already a good step and a good way of starting to make skins. Just have fun. As long as you have fun, you're good.
Yeah, going in with the mindset that you're making it because you want it to be worn, it's just not gonna get, like, you're just gonna be sad. You're gonna be sad.
Yeah, you're gonna
like,
be upset when they aren't used.
Yeah, exactly. Because inevitably you're gonna gonna make twice as many skins that get used. Like obviously the 240 whatever that I've used this year, I've definitely made at least like 700 event skins. Like I've made so many event skins this year, and if you just expect every single one of them to be used, you're just gonna be met with disappointment and you're not gonna enjoy it.
Plus,
so
like creators want to give the chance to appreciate everyone, right? Like just because they choose somebody else's skin doesn't mean your skin is bad. They just want to give recognition to another skin creator.
Exactly.
Like that's the thing. Like they want to like the ones who do really appreciate this like the skin makers or skin artists, sorry, I should say, are the ones who also want to appreciate multiple skin artists, and that's why they won't always use yours specifically. They'll use other people's.
Like I could also give as an example, I love making CPK skins. Like I always try to make his team some skins, but I don't necessarily expect them to be always used. It's just if they do, that's great. It's like another skin to like of the skins that he has used of mine. But if he doesn't, I don't mind because I just make them for fun. It's like he decides to put someone else. I fully like he can definitely do that. I don't mind at all. So really, if like I have like this one creator that I love making skins for, but he decides to use a different skin, go for it. Support other artists. I totally vouch for that.
I was gonna say, I joke about like being like Purple's artist, but like I genuinely would not mind if you use any other skins. Like I joke about it, like it just being me, but at the same time, like I genuinely, it would be so cool to have other artists, you know? So
exactly.
But it's not just that as well. So say for instance, let's say like CPK teams with Hannah Rose, right? I don't know why. I was trying to think of a name that isn't purple because it wouldn't make much sense.
No, that's fair.
So let's say they're teamed with Hannah Rose, right? And Hannah and CPK teams with Hannah Rose and MCC 20, right? And let's just pretend the other two members on that team don't exist. Let's just pretend it's a duo event. Screw it, just for the sake of it.
Wow.
Right? No, but it's for the scenario, right? So MCC 20, CPK goes, okay, we're gonna use Maskyzee skin, right? Because they made the skins for us, blah blah blah, right? So then come to MCC 25, they get reteamed again. Use Maskyzee skin last time. Maybe Hannah Rose has someone who makes them team skins, and then now they want to use their ones. It's not always even just the person who you're making a skin for who chooses. There's 3 other people on the team, right? In this scenario, okay, it's only one other person, but you get the idea. Like they all might have someone who they want to choose or who they want to support, and because like if people are teams with people multiple times, they might be like, all right, we supported this person last time, let's support this person this time.
What happens sometimes in MCC, mostly just MCC, I haven't really seen it too much in Block Wars, is where different people on the team will use different skins. So I know like Erit always uses the same skin artist, so Erit will always use her skins, and then someone else on his team might have another skin artist that they were like using, and they would use their skins, so some of the time you do see like mixed sets in MCC because people will want to support other artists. So sometimes it's not even that they will, like it happened a couple of times in Block Wars, I think, on a few teams, but they will wear like mixed sets. So even if one person wants to use one set, they can usually come to an agreement, but you do see mixed sets from time to time, which is quite nice.
And the second part of the question was any tips or useful tools for someone looking to become a skin artist?
Yes. Yeah. So obviously the first thing which we just talked about was like your mindset about why you're making skins. I know it sounds like more dramatic than it probably is because you're just making Minecraft skins, but like obviously the reason you obviously start for a reason. Mine was because I wanted to make my friends look pretty, that kind of thing. You obviously start with a reason, and then you want to have a good thing to make your skins with. So obviously we've already said Planet Minecraft, Skindex or Blockbench are like the 3 good things to get started with. They've got some really easy user interfaces. Specifically, we don't use Novaskin. Stop it. Guess I'm
sorry.
No. So Skindex, Planet Minecraft, or Blockbench, specifically Skindex and the Planet Minecraft Basic Editor, they're both really good places to start. They're really easy to use for beginners, that kind of thing. And just kind of like trying to get to know a couple of other skin artists when you first start is really great as well. You can get some tips, you can get help. Usually in every Minecraft community, I assume you would be in a Minecraft community or be interested in a Minecraft community if you are making Minecraft skins. If you're wanting to get yourself out there, is obviously talking to other people, learning things. There's nothing wrong with like trying things out, like style wise. I know me and Masky have both changed like a fair amount. Masky, your style is still very insane to me. But like trying things out, and just kind of practicing. Like as I obviously made so many skins every month, and my improvement kind of skyrocketed like a little bit after a while. So just practice and just having fun with it, and feeling like you shouldn't be like, this goes the same for just normal artists as well. It's like whatever you make, like you shouldn't feel like you should be ashamed of like the first thing you ever make, because obviously you're still getting used to it. So just finding an editor that fits you, and then just having some fun with it. I feel like that's just the best place to start. I don't think there's any real expectations you should have for yourself.
Fair enough. Masky, same idea.
Yeah, pretty much like Space already said, like enjoy what you're doing. And I also have like a website that I use to grab some colors, which is called Coolers.
Yes, I love Coolers.
It's called what, sorry?
Coolers. It's spelled Coolors.
Okay.
And it's a website where you can just grab color palettes from the get go, and you can mix colors as well, and it's really useful.
If you go on that website and look at the pre-made color palettes, you will see 90% of my every event skin ever in there. Like I get like most of my color palettes.
That's 100% like a good website. Are struggling to find colors or like matching colors fit together for like the start, definitely, because that has helped me a bunch with colors and coming up with different kinds of palettes, because you can find different palettes but also make your own. So it's really a good website to just start off. And a little tip that I have for like when you make, do you see, for example, you get a commission which is very detailed. There's a lot of like jewelry or like very tiny details. Pretty much, if you make the skin, try and simplify those ideas and don't focus too much on making it exactly like the reference you get. Because I had some commissions that were like that, but I tried to focus on like what is the most significant part about that like detailed thing, and you just make it as simple as you can. Don't make it too detailed because then it could look a little messy. Just try and add like little things you can find in the skin, and then it definitely looks a lot cleaner and you can work with it better than it like everything is put in that the reference also has. It will look a lot messy. So that's definitely a tip I can give for when you get like a reference very detailed. Try to simplify it as best as you can. Try to add the details that are the most significant in that picture, and just try. Just see what works best.
Give it a go.
Exactly.
I kind of want to add to this from my POV, and it's like what you mentioned, Space, earlier in the podcast. You mentioned how like, you know, your old skins aren't as good as your ones now, in your opinion. And it's like, don't give up after a bad skin. Like, everything improves over time, right? You're not going to start and be perfect at something. You're going to slowly improve over time. Same with me and everything I do. I'm a barista, for example. My first coffees weren't good at all, and now I'm pretty good at making coffees. So it's like, you know, with the skins, don't give up after one bad skin. Or if like you make a bad skin and someone's like, oh, this is horrible, don't let it affect you. I know it's hard sometimes for like to not take words to heart, but just don't, you know? Easier said than done, but yeah, there you go. So
yeah, we don't speak of my MCC 19 yellow yak skins. They were something.
But then you didn't give up,
something.
and now look.
And now look at
InsideMC Podcast.
Exactly. yes, the peak of my career.
The peak, exactly.
And also, if you like feel like that your skin is like not good at all, always ask other skin artists. They are willing to help you no matter what. They can give you any tips you want, anything you need to know. Maybe like a little trick. Maybe they have something that you don't know and no one else. And then that's definitely like a good help. Just ask other skin artists, other artists in general, that they can help you.
Oh yeah,
even with like colors. Even with colors, sometimes like you struggle finding colors, and if you don't go to the website, just ask like about color theory and see what others do to get their colors well. It's always like very helpful to ask others to see what.
Yeah, because everyone does things like slightly differently. So
yeah,
you can ask like so many different skin artists the same question, and we'll probably all give you a different answer. Unless the question is, do I ever use noise tool? And the answer will always be no.
Yeah, exactly. We hate noise tool.
Yes.
Got you. I don't know what noise tool is, but got you.
Good.
Keep it that way.
And then the final question comes from Wadebox.
Yes! Wadebox, yes!
I'm going to say that you're not allowed to answer with the most recent Block War skins, okay? You're not allowed to, was it the Halloween ones that you
Halloween
flagged for?
ones, yes.
You're not allowed to use this as your answer because you've already answered it pretty much throughout the podcast.
Okay.
What is your favorite commission you've ever made? And for the sake of the question, I'm going to say that we're not just going to simplify it as commissions only. We're going to just say, what is the favorite skin or skins you've ever made? And you're not allowed to say the most recent Halloween ones.
I have a few that I really like.
Yeah, and you can say a few, I don't mind.
Like, for example, like one of my favorites is skins that I make for my friends. It's really I just love making skins for my friends and giving them something that just could make their day a little better, you know?
Yeah,
so I really like any skins that I've made for my friends. May it be just their main skin. For example, a lot of people might know the sandwich lot skin. That is one that I made, and I'm still love it to this day because them using it for longer than I expected shows me how much they actually like skin, how appreciative they are of it. And it's just, will always be one of my favorites, no matter what. Then also some of the CPK skins that I've made, because I have my own design for CPK that some people might have noticed. I have this like fox set that I've made by myself, and I just kept using it for event skins or like any other skins that I make. And I don't know, I just love any skins that I make with that, because it's like something unique of my own. It's completely made by myself, not just like the outfit. It's like the whole skin on its own is made by me, and I just love that. Then obviously, as I already said, Topper Hunter skin that I've made is one of my favorites, because that's where everything basic started for me, as well as the Slime Sickle skin that I mentioned. And also, one thing I really like about making Phil's Minecraft is the way I do the hair, because I always try to make different hair for him. Like in the Pride one, he had a braided hair at the back. In others, he might have like pigtails, just like one ponytail. I always try to vary those, and that's also something that I really like in making skins and all the skins that I've made. So, but yeah, pretty much those are like some of my favorites. I could list a lot more, but I feel like those are the most significant ones I could mention.
Fair enough.
Gosh, this is such a hard I get so attached to so many of my skins.
Oh, I get that.
Okay, favorite commissions I've made.
All of them except for the Yellow Yaks ones.
Okay, we don't speak of the Yellow Yetis. We don't speak
Yellow
of them.
Yetis, sorry, not Yaks.
They're terrifying. They look like weird bananas.
There's a sort of like even to me, because it's out of context, it just sounds so funny because none of us have any clue what it looks like.
Well, wait, Maskyzee, no, I was gonna try to get a photo, but it's been so long ago that I won't. Actually, wait, hold up.
If you find it off the podcast, you can send it.
Yeah. They look like very strange bananas. But with some of my favorite skins, I know there's been any skin where I've gone out a little bit of my comfort zone and done something a little bit different to what I'd usually do has always been like a favorite one of mine. I won't mention Halloween, but we already know. But I know the Ninja Turtles me and Masky did a couple of MCCs back. Very attached to those ones. We were very stressed making them, but very attached to those ones. Any of the purpled skins I've made, I'm very attached to the first. It was one of the first MCC skins I made, but like the MCC 21 Blue Bat skin I made him. I look at it now and I cringe, but like it was genuinely one of the coolest things I'd ever made at that point. So I'm still incredibly attached to that skin. That's one of my favorites that I've done.
Dave Kratzy one, I guess you could say.
The first Dave Kratzy commission, that was so much fun. He wanted Christmas skins, and I was like, because I made him a skin for an event, and then he messaged me being like, "Hey, can I commission you?" And I was like, "What? Hello." So those ones I'm very attached to as well, because he used them for so long. Any of my Dave commissions, definitely the purpled commission that I got was also a very silly one. Very attached to that one still. I'm trying to think of like any of the Origin skins that I really like absolutely destroyed on. Obviously the most recent ones. Yours, Masky. Smiley face. Yeah, I don't know. I think I honestly I just really like all of my skins. This is a really difficult question. Obviously I can't just stick it to commissions. I've had
you don't have to
all of them. All of them. I had a really cool
Except for
commission
Yellow
recently
Yetis.
though. But aside from the Yellow Yetis, I look at them with not pride, and it's something more like disgust. So
see how easy that was to answer, Space. You could have just
I can't just not. I can't. I have to speak.
But
yeah,
with
I
that,
totally agree with Space here, because like there's a lot of skins that I love, and just I'm proud of. And like if I could add with like commission, well, like one of the commissions I loved doing was one of Mythologists for like a hardcore world he was doing, and he was just so lovely with it as well, and I just loved making it too. So it's like one of my favorite commissions that I've ever gotten, because not only like making the skin, he's such a lovely guy, and just him commissioning is like one of the like he's super sweet and just very nice with commissions and stuff. So definitely one of the commissions I really like. But also one of CBKs that I got for one of DC was in, where I had to make him a crab basically, and it was very funny. I just loved making it because it was something new as well. Like not like, okay, make me an outfit, make me like put something on me. It was a complete new skin entirely. So that was definitely also one
crab.
of my favorites. But like there was one version that never got published where he had a suit on because he died before he could use it. So
I would love to see a crab in a
if you
suit.
die, you get the
PK'd.
origin. So it was just that one skin, but it was still one of my favorites because it was very silly look. Absolutely. So those two
the
definitely.
crab PK screen goes crazy.
The crab PK.
With that being said, then lads, sadly,
Oh no.
this brings the end of the InsideMC podcast.
No, it's so over. It's so over.
We've been recording for over 2 hours. Time just flies, doesn't it? Doesn't feel
Time
like it.
does just
True,
fly.
true.
I can imagine I do this every week. So,
Yeah, but you get to talk to so many people. It's really
it
cool.
is really cool, yeah, it's hearing all the stories.
Yeah,
And
it's
like I
very
said, you
cool.
guys are so cool as well. So it's interesting to hear like how you got into skin making, all that kind of jazz. And who knows, I might bring on more skin makers, skin artists in the future.
Holy moly. I thought you were about to say that you were going to become a skin artist then.
Oh no,
Wait.
no, not that talented.
Wait,
sadly.
pause.
No.
Hey, hold
We'll
up.
make
Do
a
you
skin
want to be
artist out of
taught
you.
by us?
Oh, only if
Teaching
it's on
stream.
Nova Skin though.
God.
I'm out of here. I'm
No,
not
I'm hanging up. I'm hanging up.
Wait, don't
Yeah.
leave just yet. You need to promote yourselves first. You haven't
Holy.
done that part. Yeah, see, you're trying to
Ooh.
run off. You guys decide who goes first here.
Maskyzee.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay. Hold up. Space, heads or tails?
Tails.
All right, 1 second.
Okay, I'm taking heads.
Hey Siri, heads or tails? Oh, I have my phone muted. It's heads. Okay. I was holding
Okay.
on to the mic. All right, cool. So who was heads again?
I was.
Okay, so Masky, you first. Would you like to promote anything? All of your socials, anything to do with that. The floor is completely yours.
Yes. So obviously, because I'm a skin artist, I usually put my skins on Twitter. So my Twitter handle is Maskyzee, and that's pretty much everywhere where I'm active, on Twitch, on YouTube, on basically anything. I'm just Maskyzee. So just search up Maskyzee and you should find me anywhere.
Okay. And sadly, because you didn't win Space, you don't actually get to promote yourself this
Oh,
podcast.
this is so sad.
Oh, no.
This has been.
Brownies!
Where can we find you?
I'm the same as Maskyzee. My branding is the same everywhere. Big
However,
brownies
it's
with a zero.
instead of the O. Yeah.
With a 0 instead of an O. Twitch, Twitter, other social media platforms that are not coming to mind. Planet Minecraft, name MC. No,
Yeah, name MC, guys.
the most
Follow me there.
important social media. Name MC.
Fuck's sake.
Absolutely,
All
I
right,
agree with that.
Well then, yeah, that's pretty much everything. Thank you both so much for being
This has
such
been a
amazing
blast.
guests.
Thank
for
you.
having
Thank
us.
you for inviting us on.
No worries.
Together.
And it's the first time we've made history
We
today.
did
We
Yes!
made history.
We
We
did
were the
it.
first duo.
We did
Let's
it.
go.
We did it.
This has been Inside MC. Give or take everything you need to know about both Maskyzee and Spacebr0wnies, or both Spacebr0wnies and Maskyzee, however order you want to put in. Thank you all for watching. Stay safe. Don't eat too much bread. Pieces.